It's just difficult because let's say you go 10 years before I even got my Spotify plaque from when I went to college at Full Sail and so on and so forth. In between those years, you start thinking to yourself, should I quit? I know a lot of people right now, they talk about like, you got to be positive all the time. You got to be positive. That's not realistic. Let's be honest. We got bad days. We're human. Facts. You get what I'm saying? Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of it. So at the end of the day, just make sure that you go through it and not around it. If you want to get placements with your music as a producer, you need to be in the studio with the artist. Now I get with the artist and we figure out a melody, because a melody is maybe even more important than the words. You know what I'm saying? That melody is technically writing. So when we talk about writing music, if you write a melody on a song, you a writer.
I don't trust myself after all the pain I've held. I know myself too well, been in and out of hell.
We're in there. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for tuning in. One of the lights just went out. It goes to show it's a special episode.
It's about to get crazy. The lights are already out. We're shutting it down.
Anyways, welcome back, folks. We got Miami Beat Wave already causing a heat wave. Lights coming out. Lights coming back. Real movie star shit. We're keeping all this. This is all staying in. The intro is already in. Yes.
Technical difficulties should never get exposed.
It's fun. This is what we're doing. We're raw and organic. We're true for the people.
Raw and organic.
Right.
Exactly. Shout out to Raw on the crazy CEO. Have you ever seen the CEO of Raw? He looks like a rock star.
Yeah.
I see him every day on Twitter, like promoting some new type of device.
It's awesome, bro. I don't know who does he actually come up with those?
He makes it seem like he does, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have a team.
I think so.
Facts.
They like the I don't even know what to call him, dude.
He's definitely like the Steve Jobs figure, though. He's like the face.
Rolling papers.
Yeah. At least of Raw. I think I'm sure there's he has beef. I'm sure he has other CEO business owners that are ops. But anyways, Miami Beat Wave in the house. Right now, before we started, though, I wanted to get into this a little bit later, but we could kind of touch on it now. You mentioned that they don't drink water. I try to drink a gallon a day.
So do I.
They don't drink water in France. What do they drink in France? Because the people, the world, the fans, the streets want to know.
Hey, I love France. But I also love water. And the thing is, when you go over there, if you have a bottle of water in your hand, they know you're American. Because the only thing they drink over there is wine and beer, dog. That's it. Everywhere you go, wine and beer, wine and beer, wine and beer.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't they provide clean, hot water for everybody, even homeless people? Isn't that something everybody has?
That and free medical.
Wow.
But so now technically it's not free, because if you are actually, a working person, at the end of the year, you get 25% goes to the government for that specific reason.
The medical coverage.
Yeah, 25% of what you make.
Right.
But then during the year, if your daughter, your son, yourself needs surgery, needs medications, all that stuff, it's already provided. No co-pays, no insurance monthly, no going with your card, no none of that. Hey, we're going to take care of you.
Feels better when you know where your taxes are going, instead of like in the U.S. our taxes go to billions of dollars in self-defense and military defense.
Let's not even go there.
Madness.
But you know what you just reminded me of, since I was just over there. I was in France, and then I took a bullet train to Amsterdam, and boy, it's like the Disney World for adults.
No way, for real?
Yeah, Amsterdam, bro. So the trees are legal. You could go to any coffee shop and buy trees, smoke it there, smoke it while you're walking. Shrooms as well. They got bars everywhere. The red light district, of course, you know what that is. And it's crazy over there, because we were just talking about raw papers.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't act the way you just said the red light district. You know what that is?
Oh, okay.
I feel like maybe I don't know what that is.
Let's clarify.
What exactly
am I able to tell him?
Is that the brothel?
Is
that what the brothels are or something like that?
No, it's basically it's basically like when you're walking from bar to bar, like at nighttime or whatever, they got workers, women workers.
Okay, the hustle. Got you.
I don't know how I'm supposed to go around this cancel culture shit.
No. It's real. No, it's real. It's.
They got workers in windows, and you can see them
in windows.
They're all in windows.
In the window dancing.
Through the blocks that you walk through. Like, let's say you go.
And you pick them out. Like, I want that, or just visual.
You can open the door or whatever. I mean, I was with my girl when I went out there, so I didn't do none of that. But we had fun with it. When we was walking by them, they'll like wave at you, blow you kisses, whatever. And if the red light's on top of the window, that means that you can holler at them, and if it's off, that means they're busy.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's wild. I know.
Totally legal.
All legal, yeah.
All legal, 100%.
Oh yeah, that's the key though. That's the stipulation.
Just like cannabis consumption.
Yeah, cannabis as well.
Okay, so red light district. I'm sorry because I cut
shrooms
you
as
off.
well.
So what were we gonna get into after the red light district? Because you're in this area of Amsterdam where you see the coffee shops which is where
It was awesome.
That's
It was
crazy.
awesome
Okay.
because they got a lot of restaurants. It's also very like cultured there. There's a lot of stuff that happened there, like how they built it and how they got that far. Heineken was invented there.
What's there to do in Amsterdam though, besides like the drugs though? Because like just to put it in perspective though, if like let's say a place like Iowa
I think
or
Amsterdam's calling.
or Kansas, yeah, that's funny. Somebody from
We gotta go.
that Amsterdam, they go.
We gotta go back.
So imagine like a place like Connecticut, Iowa. No offense to those places, but like there's no beaches. There's not a lot of things there to my understanding.
Yeah,
versus like somewhere out here with a nightlife, something like that.
Yeah.
What's going on in Amsterdam once you're
Okay,
on the nota? What do you do?
Well, no, a lot during the day. There's a lot of families, kids walking around, restaurants, Gucci store, Armani store,
shopping.
Money. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, you could take tours through the river and stuff like that. But since it is a party place and whatever case, the water is a little dirty. The same was in Paris, because the Olympics they spent $1 billion to clean the water just to do that in Paris.
Oh,
and
wow.
they've been cleaning the water since 2014. So they've been cleaning it for 10 years. And they spent $1 billion just to clean the water. Then I go there and I look at the water and I'm like, shit don't look clean to me, but
Wow.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's different. But then south of France is a whole different world than Paris. Because Paris is more like New York City, city life, train, subway, train. You get what I'm saying? And south of France is more cars, the Mediterranean Sea, the beach, the hills.
More rural, more.
It
like,
looks a little bit more like California.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the Mediterranean Sea is dope because it's so salty that you don't even barely have to swim. You could just float. Like, you just start swimming and you like floating
Oh, that's crazy.
because of so much salt.
And you were just there in the summertime. Put a picture right there. What was like the water like? Was it cold? Was it hot? Like
It was cold.
Cold.
But it's super hot out there. And the thing is that they only have, I think in France, it's like a month and a half of like heat and everything else is freezing. So no hotels you go to, unless you go to an up and bougie one, or like your family's houses or anybody you know out there, they don't have air conditioner. It's only heaters.
Wow.
So you got to sleep with the windows open. You got to sleep with the door open, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Which is a little crazy for me because I'm from Miami. I'm already hot.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to. I'm used to at least being in a car to travel. So over there, it's walk, bike, train, walk, bike, train. You get what I'm saying? So by the time you get home, you're like, "Where's the air conditioner?" Nah, bro. Open the window. It's like they don't have it because they don't want to pay for it. Why would they use their money on that? You get what I'm saying?
It's bad for you too. I literally heard yesterday. It's a family member told me that AC is supposedly bad for you. And like I have long hair now, so when I get out of the shower, I'll have like the AC off in my room and incredibly hot. And I made a joke. I was like, I'm training myself, conditioning myself. And then he was like, oh yeah, AC is actually bad for you. And then I just started thinking, I was like, damn, that's crazy.
After you put the conditioner, you condition. You condition yourself. I see it. I hear you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a good way to get sick, though. I think that's where they're coming from. Because when I was younger, my grandfather used to say, you better dry your hair, you're going to get sick. You better dry your hair, you're going to get sick. I don't know how much truth there is to that, to be honest with you.
No, it is. It's just it's kind of like air drying, and then I guess you know when you're wet, even if you have short hair, like if you get rained on and you stay in the wet clothes for a long time, you'll get sick. I'm not sure the scientific explanation for that, but
probably the same type of thing.
Same thing. When I first started growing my hair and it first started getting really long, the first couple months I'd just keep getting sick nonstop, and I was just like, oh, I have cancer, I'm dying or something. And then I started doing the math. I was like, wait a second. Every time I get sick, it's because I air dry after the shower. I get high. I start working on a song. I do something stupid. Wait a second. Something's going on here. I can't just I gotta actually dry myself.
I can attest to it. The older I get, the easier it happens.
Yeah.
A little rain, a little drizzle,
and that's
quick.
it.
Yeah, quick.
Your immune system gets worse.
I'm guessing it's quick temperature change is what it must be.
Facts.
When your body goes from hot to cold to hot real fast, that probably lowers your immune system.
Facts.
I'm not a doctor or anything like that, though.
And if you take a fast scroll through your Instagram, want to quickly find out that you have touched the piano before at a very early age.
Sure. And my grandmother played organ in the church for 20 years.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So I was brought up like that in the church, as well as watching her play the organ. So naturally, we had an upright piano at the house. So in the beginning, when I was younger, I was like, I don't want to play. She forced me to play. And then eventually, when I got into the band, and I know it's cool now because the flute is like all in like Future's songs and
Mask
beats
on.
and everything like that. But when I was younger, playing the flute was not cool. You get what I'm saying? I was like, oh man, why my grandma pick the flute for me? Why couldn't I just stuck on the piano or whatever? But now it happens to be a cool story, and everybody loves the freaking flute now. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like in
relevant
every
now.
beat, I'm hearing a flute. Every reggaeton beat, I'm hearing a flute.
It's having
They
a
love the flute.
resurgence. Yeah, that's
and
crazy, that's
when I
crazy.
was younger, I was like, man, I want to play the flute. I want to play the flute. Now I can't play the flute. I play everything on the keys or sampling, programming, everything in the computer, very technology-wise.
And what's do you recall the first song you learned how to play on the piano?
I think it was one of my grandma's gospel songs.
A gospel
And
song.
probably before that, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something like that.
Crazy. That's
something
I learned that
easy,
on the acoustic.
Which
so, yeah.
which the melody of that song, if you pay attention, sounds a lot like Happy Birthday.
It's the same melody.
It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
same melody, slowed down a little bit. There's some kind of interval change there at one
We
point.
could do it. You,
But-
you sing Happy Birthday, I'll sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Maybe another show.
Okay, fine.
Because I can't sing. That's why I produce. I cannot sing. Shout out to all my artists. Y'all are beautiful. Your voices are beautiful because mine is not.
That's crazy. I was gonna ask if you've ever rapped before or like.
I
If that was
mean,
a thing.
I write lyrics all the time.
But you do
So
references.
But
You do
for
references.
yeah, I do references. I also like write the lyrics with the artist there in the spot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
Or a lot of the songs I cut like some poetry at home or when I'm on the vibe or on vacation, and I bring it back to the studio. I say, look, this is the concept. These are the words. Now I get with the artist and we figure out a melody. Because a melody is maybe even more important than the words. You know what I'm saying? That melody is technically writing. So when we talk about writing music, if you write a melody on a song, you're a writer. Not just a writing the lyrics. Writing the lyrics, you're a writer too, but both are considered writers.
Correct. Facts.
The melody's super important. Most people that I know that are bigger songwriters, they write the melody first before the words. So what they do is they'll go through doing a reference track. All right, put me up on the auto-tune all the way so that when we stay in the key, I could kind of wild out with what I'm doing on the mic. And then we go back through the takes and go, okay, that's the catchiest melody right there out of that freestyle you did. All right, the second comp that you did on the second take, let's take that one. We put that together. Then we put words to that.
Yeah, that's how I write music nowadays. I'll find a melody that I like with it. I'll find maybe another one. I'll keep playing with it until I find something I'm really convinced in, and then I'll start adding words.
There you
until
go. There you go.
It just feels naturally more natural that way.
The reason why it feels more natural is because there's two sides of the brain. One part of the brain is the artistic, like, let me come up with the melody, that this is how I kind of want to hear it, vibe. Like that vibe, the feeling side of your brain. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
The other one that makes the words is the logical side of your brain. So if you're using both at the same time, it's too much percent. You instead of using 100% of the feeling one, you're using 50, and then 50 of the lyrics to come up with the melody and the lyrics all at once. Instead, what you should be doing is 100% with the feeling and the vibe, and then after that, do the 100% with the logic and the words.
Wow, that's incredible because I've been practicing and preaching for years to people that you can't multitask. You could only just do multiple things at once and just spread your attention and do everything half-assed. You're just doing one thing for 5 seconds and then switching to the other task.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as multitasking. You're just failing.
And we go back to that saying of, do you want to be the jack of all trades or the ace of spades?
Facts.
You know?
Exactly. Jack of all trades, master of none.
There you go.
Yeah, it's wow, that's crazy. That's a great way to look at it with the feel and then the logic, because it comes to, there has to be a message for movies, for an example, because yes, I write music, but I also, one of my goals in life is to get movies and short films that I've written, produced.
Dope.
And I look at it in an analogy way where it's like the best music and the best movies have a message, an overall message to it.
Concept of the entire thing.
Right. Now, that's kind of like the logical side, the logical half of the brain.
Right.
However, the feel side of the brain is how do you get there? How do you make a cinematic movie and a powerful, impactful journey from, A to Z? And how do you make, Scarface? It's the whole roller coaster of a ride, and then the ending only matters because of the ride you take with that character.
Right.
So that's kind of the feel side.
Which our Scarface that we love is a remake of Howard Hughes'
Italian
Scarface.
Scarface, right?
Yeah, Howard Hughes' Scarface. He was the original director of
40s.
it.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. Yeah, man, it's interesting because concept and conceptual art is everything now. If you draw something or you make something very specific and it's very like you don't see a lot of people doing real cool portraits anymore of people because it's kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. But then we see something super simple, like I don't know. Let's take for example, it was ridiculous, but that banana
posted
Yes.
on the wall.
Okay,
I was
you
gonna say
remember
that
that
as a joke right now.
All right.
And you say it. That's so crazy.
So the point of that is that we haven't seen that conceptually. Not that the banana interests us or anything like that. It's the concept of it. So the concept is almost more important than anything now. And then like when you're going back to the movie stuff, it's a lot of like also what do you want to say as an artist? Like when I'm gonna start a song, I'm gonna say, hey, I can make it witty. You know how a lot of rappers want to just be bar heavy. I could be bar heavy, but what are you saying? What are you telling them? You get what I'm saying? Is it just I'm the illest, I'm the illest, I'm the illest? Or is there a story behind it? Are you trying to get a concept? Are you trying to talk about what's going on in the world right now? There's so many things that you can do instead of just being bar heavy.
Facts.
And that's why I enjoy writing a lot for R&B. I enjoy writing a lot for pop and alternative stuff because it allows me to like break down a lot of let's say very lyrical, spiritual, miracle like type raps, breaking that type of poetry down to where it's slowed down that you can understand the message. Less words, but more impact.
Yeah, and the truth is, it kind of dilutes it when it's overly bars. When it's all bars, it takes away from when the bars come. I look at it almost like bars are like an action scene. Like you don't want a movie where it's all action, as opposed to a good movie that's well scripted storylines and a huge plot and huge tense. And then when the action comes, it doesn't have to be the craziest action, but the stakes at hand, the plot being written makes it lends to it, that impact of it.
Completely
so
agree.
The same way. That's
favorite
cool,
director? Man. You have favorite director?
Scorsese's up there. Tarantino doesn't have as big of a body of work, but yeah, Scorsese's up there. I think.
Do you know why Quentin Tarantino doesn't have a biggest body of work?
Because less is more. He thinks. Why?
Well, this is what I've heard. I don't really know, but it was kind of this concept of that I'm gonna have 10 movies. This is gonna be my life's project and my life's work. Meaning that when somebody passes away, we look at all the art that they did and stuff like that, and there's some misses there. You get what I'm saying? Like, yo, I love him for that song. I love him for that art piece. I love him for that movie. But then you got, but the sequel was kind of whatever. And that was kind of whatever. And he doesn't really want to go out like that. He wants to go out. This is my package. Everything's fire. This is my legacy. This is what my name's on.
But don't you feel that's a cop-out?
Meaning that he can't produce more, you can't make more?
That too, but I also feel like you can't control how the audience, like art is, we make it as artists, and you could say we make it for ourselves, but the truth is the audience is going to have their own opinion on it no matter what.
Big facts.
And it's like one day, if we're lucky, my dream as an artist is I'll be long gone and dead, and people will still bump my shit and just be like, who is this? And it'll still be timeless music, and even though it'll be 100 years from now, 150 years, 200 years from now, there'll be something there. They'll be like, oh, I see the melodic, I see maybe it's a hit.
You bring up a good question, which is what makes timeless music. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So to me, and people laugh at me when I tell them this, I go, name me a timeless song, and people will say Michael Jackson or the Beatles or whoever, whatever. And I tell them, happy birthday, dog. It's made the most royalties out of every song ever. Has made the most royalties. It was
incredible fact to drop.
It was made by a school teacher back in the day, maybe like a century ago or whatever.
Drop him right here.
Yeah, and then she was singing "Good morning to you, good morning to you, good morning, my students, good morning to you." She went and was the first person to copyright it, and now to this day, her families, kids, grandkids, still get paid from publishing from Sony $1 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah. For something that she did way back in the day. Because guess what? Happy Birthday is a song we sing every day to different people all the time, and everybody loves it when you sing it to them.
All over the world.
All over the world.
Every day is somebody's birthday.
Every day is somebody's birthday, so that's a timeless song. When you ask me about a timeless song, I say timeless. That's timeless. Yeah. And that's the crazy part. Like, let's say you go to Chili's or you go to a certain restaurant and they don't sing it the right way. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they sing it in a different way. It's because they don't want to pay the PROs for it. They don't want to pay BMI, ASCAP, and all that.
Wow.
Yeah. Straight facts.
That is crazy. I've always felt like
we got to clap for that one.
I've always felt like people were just being what's the word you say when
they just want to be unique?
Not unique. When people just want to go against the grain no matter what. It's somethingist. It ends with ist.
A protagonist?
Not protagonist. Not antagonist either. It's
something with an ist.
I'm gonna drop it here.
Yeah.
It'll come through when I'm editing.
There you go.
But yeah, some people want to just always go against the grain. So
remember, any how do I explain it? Any place that makes money, like a club, skating rink, pool hall, a restaurant that plays music or whatever, they have to pay a licensing.
Contrarian.
To pay us.
Is what I was thinking.
There it is.
Contrarian, sorry. But
So
yes.
he wasn't listening to anything I said for
No,
the
I
last
did.
5
They have to
minutes.
pay you. They have to pay us. They have to pay us.
Yes. Well, they have to pay the PRO, and then the PRO pays us.
Right.
But it's just like a liquor license. That's what a lot of people don't understand about how to collect royalties and stuff like that. And so basically, like, let's say you stop paying your liquor license and you're a bar or a club, they're gonna come and shut you down, right?
Facts.
If you as a club, if you stop paying your music license, because you're making money off of people dancing. They can't dance unless there's music. So you need to pay the artists because you making money off of that. And
Right.
the PROs will be the ones that come up in the club, and it's very unusual to happen, but they will show up, so on and so forth, and they'll be like, all right, we got to close you down until you guys pay, because you haven't been paying your blanket license monthly for their catalog. And then we have separate catalog. Whoever's on BMI, ASCAP, da-da-da. So if your club plays all of them, you got to pay the 3 PROs. Not just one. Or you pay the one and play specifically off that catalog. Now, like I said, it's tough to catch. The people really got to come after you. You got to be a big club that's making a lot of money, so on and so forth. Or a big restaurant chain, like I said, like a Chili's or a, whatever.
That's an
Right.
Italian
And then speaking on like different because of course, like you said, the size of the club, how much, I'm sure the music making noise, things like that. Right now there's a rise in country. Do you see it like with the industry, like country's kind of having a prominence?
Well, I mean, I love country music for the simple fact that it comes from the blues and it has so much storytelling in it. The writing, I love all that stuff. So I've always loved like artists like Chris Stapleton, who puts the soul in it and stuff like that. But now what we're seeing a lot is that country artists, we're not sure how to switch the sound up so that it would sound new, so they started putting trap drums in it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And they started putting trap hi-hats in it and stuff like that. And you'll hear it now that I say it when you go hear the radio and you listen to country stuff. So after they started dabbling in that for the last 2 years, then we started getting the Beyonce. Now we have the Shabuzi. Now we have the urban and country together. That's what's happening.
Going full
Full
country.
Great
full
explanation.
country. Yeah, exactly. And now the question is there somebody in the higher ranks of the labels that pushed them and said, country is what we're going to do, country is what we're going to do? Maybe. But let's say before the hip-hop run of 2000 to 2010, when hip-hop made more money than every other genre or whatever, before that, it was always country. Country made the most money out of the music industries from before that time.
Great point. That's why I
And
brought
now they're bringing the urban people into the country.
that's the connection, because they're making it modern now.
So-
that's cool. So I brought the country thing up to ask you, what do you forecast is going to happen with the music industry in the future? Like, what do you think's the next cycle? Do you think R&B is going to have a comeback? What do you think's going on next for music?
It's tough. Well, I'm making an R&B album that's coming out this year, so I have to say yes. But
Awesome.
But AI is a big thing. I've dabbled and dabbled with it. Everybody knows that it's coming. It's already here. I don't know why I would say it's coming, but it's gonna get better and better, and obviously it learns on its way. I've already done a couple AI songs. There's people out there who are not artists at all, have AI songs with their websites or whatever, put it on Spotify, and they're making money, and they're not artists at all. But they made an artist, they made a character, they made a graphic, they did an album cover, they AI'd the song, put it on Spotify, and they own 100% of it.
Insane.
All AI.
And the AI.
Yeah.
All AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy game right now, and it's scary too. The AI shit scares me because at the end of the day, I don't want like my OG or somebody in my family to get a call with my voice sounding like me, talking about send me money, or a FaceTime where it's my face but it's really not me. Like that's
We're
where
already
we're going.
there though,
Says
but
that
we're
all the
already
time.
there though, because all of us, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different people in the room right now. I'm sure we all pull out our phones right now, whatever social media app we all have on our phones. All of our timelines are going to be different. All of our results are going to be different if we search any type of random thing that you think is general, because the algorithm is low key an AI already. People
Facts.
don't understand that it's just
Facts.
feeding us what we spend our time on, and it clocks us on. And a lot of people think, oh no, but that's not what I'm interested in. It's not about what you're interested in. It's about what you spend your time invested in. And a lot of times it's
Right.
things you don't like. A
Right.
lot of times it's things that are toxic for you. A lot of times it's things that are
Yep.
incredibly unhealthy, things
Yep.
you disagree with, things that get you upset.
Yep.
And people love that. Like, people just, like, it's crazy. People just love to sit around and watch the news, get banged up, just sit there at their house all day and to watch the news till they can't no more.
I know.
And it's the same thing with our phones.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
think the news is just a channel you could turn on. The worst part about this is that people think this is reality. People think that this is
course.
this is society. This is everywhere. This is and you talk to somebody.
You're not even looking
Portland's
up.
not on fire. People, it's not the world's not ending. It's not like that.
So what that is, that's a fear thing. That's whoever's trying to push the agenda, wherever it be, the government or whatever the case is trying to push their agenda with fear. And fear is the number one way for people to buy your stuff. Yeah, buy some mace, buy some more guns, buy some health insurance, life insurance.
Anxiety, do drugs. You're gonna be fear causes anxiety. Go get banged up.
There you go. At the end of the day, they're pushing the fear on you, so you're like, oh my God, I need it. But in reality, let's say a whole bunch of people get a whole bunch of stuff to protect themselves at their house, or they carry it around or whatever. You have more mistakes because people don't know what they're doing, which is kind of sad because at the end of the day, they force these people to get weapons and so on and so forth. But who's really coming after you? You got that many weapons in your house. Well, who are you, Tony Montana? Like, who's really coming after you? I want to know. I want to know. Is the mafia coming after you for real?
They create a boogeyman to solve. Yeah,
but
exactly.
that's the news. Yo, this guy got killed over here. The news said, even when that first started happening, God bless her soul, my grandmother didn't want him to leave the house at the end of the day because she was believing everything the news said. She said, I don't want to leave the house. One day, we first got 56K modem. You remember the and all that shit to AOL to log on?
A little bit before my time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm old.
No, old to you,
but young at heart.
Young to Joe Biden.
Yeah, I like that. At the end of the day, there was once I was using the internet. She heard the whatever, and the wind made the door slam open. She was like, "The internet did that. The internet's the devil." And lo and behold, now everything that's on the internet, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Then let me tell you what,
it's a double-edged sword.
She knew, and even when she said devil, it blew my mind now because look, you have the Apple phone, right? And in the back of it, the logos are what? Apple with the bite taken out
Adam
of
and
it.
Eve.
You get what I'm saying?
Lost. Yeah.
Yeah. The devil's hiding in plain sight if you look at it like that.
So I look at it like fire, though. Fire could warm us, keep us hot throughout the winter. It could also burn you alive and take away your house and all your life savings.
Facts. And funny enough, everything is so connected that even, let's say you hold a piece of ice, it starts to burn like fire. But it's not fire. But it feels the same, burning you.
Word.
It's just everything in the world is connected, and the vibes and it's a crazy world, man. I just try to stay in my lane and do music and not really get into all the crazy stuff that's happening. But since I'm here with you and I'm relaxed, fuck it, we'll do it.
Perfect segue, because I wanna pull out the notes for this one because I want to get this right. So in 2023, just to list some of the accomplishments: Billboard plaque, produced and engineered a reggae album on iTunes charts. Also, at least 5 songs on Sirius XM satellite radio, 3 hip hop albums on iTunes charts, Grammy consideration, 3 million Spotify plaques, and then so much more to name here on this list.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, it was extensive.
Some of those things I was actually just receiving them now for stuff that I did. Like my Billboard plaque was with Burns from Mayday. Shout out Mayday. Shout out Burns. Shout out Rec.
Received the physical.
Exactly, and that's something
we're gonna drop a pic right here.
Something that I did years ago called "Dancing with the Devil" was on Burns' album, and it was featuring Recognize and A.G. Lyons. And I was just receiving the plaque now, and then you got to go through the whole, process of contacting Strange Music, making sure they're okay with it, give the place that makes the plaques okay with it, so on and so forth. My first one I ever got was with David Corey. He's a Brazilian artist, R&B artist, real big out there. He did a song with Aloe Black for, I think it was the 2014 FIFA. It was for the World Cup. And that song was super dope. That's when I heard of him and started contacting him. Yo, what can we do? What we can do? Now we're real cool. I produced a lot of stuff for him. So my first shout out to him because that was my first Spotify plaque.
And after all these successes, just in the last year, and you continue to reach the accomplishments and milestones, how do you keep yourself hungry?
Oh man, that's just a mindset. That's just where I come from. That's how my mind works. I wake up every day like I ain't got nothing.
When you say where you come from, can you elaborate a little bit on that? What does that mean?
Just like the mind state of like, not being born rich, not being born into something, and also like going into this crazy career. Already in 11th grade in high school, I had a studio in my room, and I was recording rappers around my block.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I knew from an early age what I wanted to do, and it's just difficult because let's say you go 10 years before I even got my Spotify plaque from when I went to college at Full Sail and so on and so forth. In between those years, you start thinking to yourself, should I quit? These other people will tell you to stop. You know what I'm saying? Then you have friends fall out. You have partnerships fall out. You have people that you love, even your family say, "Yo, it's been 10 years. You ain't made it yet. What are you still doing?" All that stuff is hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for your mental. It's hard for you to keep going. So there's a lot of people who get really jaded with the game, and then they stay jaded, right? So a lot of people who actually make it and break through the threshold they get jaded, and then they get back up, and then they get back up, then they go down, and they get back up again, and they finally get back up until they stay up. You get what I'm saying? So and it takes time. Just like they say, that 10,000 hours, that 10 years, and sometimes it might not happen even in those 10 years. It might be on the 13th year. Everybody's path is different. You know, I got Ghost with me here in the studio.
Shout out Holy Ghost.
Shout out Holy Ghost. His album's coming out soon. Believe in Ghost. At the end of the day, we were just talking about in the car how when you're in your lane and you see somebody else in front of you, you're looking at that man's lane or whatever, and you're like, yo, I want to be there. I want to be there. I'll be there. You're not worried about your lane. Right? And that's going to make you depressed and feel bad because you're not there. But you're also not looking at all the cars in back of you that they want to be where you're at. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you got to focus on yourself, focus your mentality on just that winning mentality, even when you are losing, that you're going to win again. You know what I'm saying? And what do I have to do to make it better? What do I got to do to make myself better? And tune out all the other people. I know a lot of people right now, they talk about like, you got to be positive all the time. You got to be positive. That's not realistic. Let's be honest. We got bad days. We're human. Facts. You get what I'm saying? Don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of it. So at the end of the day, just make sure that you go through it and not around it. When you go around it, that means it's going to come back to meet you later. Go through it, get it done with, and move on to the next thing and keep that momentum going, and eventually it will happen for you in some way or another. Maybe not how you thought, maybe even better.
Embrace the discomfort. Go through the door. The famous actor that played Alfred in the Christian Bale Batman series.
Yeah.
I just a couple months ago I saw a famous clip of him where he was talking about this story of him learning how to act, and they had an improv scene and they had like a doorway that was stuck, and he was tripping out and he couldn't do his scene because his scene required him to go through the doorway normally.
Really?
And he was stuck on it. And then it changed his whole career because his teacher, his coach, told him, use the door, use the uncomfortability, use the obstacle.
Yeah.
And then he turned the whole scene because his character was supposed to be angry, and that turned into him kicking the door and making the best take of the whole improv because he used the discomfort.
Improv, boom.
It's crazy. So you just have to go. That's why you said instead of going around the obstacle, you got to go through it.
Through it. Sometimes you got to kick it down.
Sometimes you got to kick
down the door.
Facts.
Shout out to Biggie. Kick down the door.
Now, so producers are now taking I feel a spotlight in the game. Like I feel like more than ever, producers used to be like a behind the scenes role, and now they're coming more into the forefront without being rappers, without doing anything.
Especially hip hop producers. A lot of remember, there's a lot of different genres. So. When it comes to pop music or country music and stuff like that, a lot of those producers are still kind of in the background. Yeah. But when we talk about hip hop producers, we got, Metro Boomin, but he comes out with his own album. You know what I'm saying? DJ Mustard came out with his own album, compilation. Right. They're artists now. Mike Will made it. Is either coming out with one or he's came out with one. I'm not positive right now. But at the end of the day, it's like they're the artists now as well. You know what I'm saying? And I've been doing the same thing with my R&B albums, and my pop albums, doing the compilations, working with other artists. But it is under Miami Beatwave as the artist name, featuring everybody else. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
And I started doing that back in the day. But only in hip hop. So I did a slight modification. The launch, these were hip hop compilations I first came out with in Miami that had Rick Ross on it, Dead Prez, Mayday, Artificial, Locos Peruana, Suenalo, a lot of Miami bands, a lot of Miami scenes. I had Rascas on it, just a bunch of hip hop type stuff. And that's how I really got my name out there through that. But at some point in my career, I'm so musical that I can do so many different genres and so many different stuff that the checks that were coming in for hip-hop, even though I was raised on hip-hop, love hip-hop, I break dance, and I was born into hip-hop, I got kids, you know what I'm saying? I got a family. And the royalty checks were a lot smaller than me thinking to myself, I need a Justin Bieber song. I need a Taylor Swift beat, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That my son can actually eat some good food and we can buy another house. And the hip-hop money wasn't coming in like that. So I was like, hey, I'm good enough to make these other genres. Why don't I try it out? So that's what I've been doing.
And yeah, and I feel like at the end of the day, the best producers could make different kinds of beats. Like the best
Facts.
hip hop producers have bangers outside of the hip hop realm and the hip hop genre.
Facts. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not only a beat maker. I mean, you can ask anybody that I work with. I'm in the studio. Like usually, I create the beat with the artist in the studio. We write together. I also record, mix, master the entire records all together, arrange, vocal arrangements, coming up with harmonies, all of that.
On that same point, Beat, I actually thought of this today when I was thinking of things I'd like to ask you. So as an artist, as a writer, a lot of times I'm writing. Sometimes I sit and I hear a beat and I come up with the melodies, the lyrics, etc. Other times I'm writing around and I'll hear like a quote. I'll hear somebody say a line and then it just inspires me of flipping the line.
Sure.
You know, it's little like, oh, one door opens and every door closes, another one opens, and I'll just think of a way to flip that and it turn into a whole verse. Does that happen with producers where you'll think of like a melody before you're even you're just driving around away from the equipment and you're like, that's actually like
Oh yeah.
you think of something?
Oh yeah. Especially
That
now that we're in the time of like, well, we've always kind of taken older songs and made them new. I'm talking about for like 50, 60 years now, taking old songs and redoing them.
Flipping samples.
Even flipping samples, but not even now we're not even flipping samples. We're just having another, like a cover song. Another singer
Recreating it.
sing the exact same song,
Yeah.
but in their style.
And recreating
That's
it,
hot
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we've been doing that for a long time. And it's crazy. I'll hear like a song and be like, oh, I see how I could flip that. So when I grew up, my first studio or whatever, I was doing everything with an MPC, right? So I was chopping. I didn't know like how the beat was gonna sound because I didn't know how the sample was gonna be chopped yet until I had it on the pads. Once I had it on the pads, I start chopping. And the cool thing about that is the nuances in the back of the sound are now when you chop them in a different order, make new harmonics in the back. So it kind of like it changes the sound. Not only are you changing the melody when you chop on the pad, I'm sure the speed, the tempo, everything that different producers can do to come up with whatever their idea is. Remember, we have other producers that just do a straight loop and make a hit. You know what I'm saying? It all depends because they dug for the right sample for a long time, which is also a way of producing. Digging in the crates.
Different
You know what
ways.
I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's a whole nother thing. Having a sound that nobody else has. You could, if you had a sound that nobody else has, you could just straight loop it, not chop nothing, and everyone be like, "What the hell is that? That's fire!" Because they ain't heard it before.
Facts.
They don't even know it's a loop. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends. But a lot of the stuff I'm doing right now is just like straight thinking about it. I can hear a sample now and without chopping or without anything, hear where I would put the transient, where I would chop, how I would rearrange it, and if I'm gonna put a Caribbean rhythm to it, am I gonna put a trap rhythm to it? Is it gonna be boom bap? I can hear that off the bat now. And before, when I was younger, it was a little bit more difficult.
Wow. And speaking of difficulties, this is actually a phoned-in question from Tetris, who found out you were going to be on. So
What's up, Tetris? Peace and Blessings is out right now. I executive produced the album. It's a fantastic album. It's out right now.
Over 500,000 streams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
500,000 streams.
crazy.
The bars are crazy. He's doing shows all around Miami, so catch him while you can.
So he told me to ask you, why do you quote unquote love working with rappers in the studio?
So me and him have a joke because since I've been doing R&B music a lot and a lot of the pop stuff, he basically has the joke like, you hate rappers, B. You hate rappers, even though a lot of my discography is with rappers. You get what I'm saying?
Came
It's
up
like,
with the rapping,
it's not
yeah.
that I hate rap and I hate rappers. I love hip hop. I love rap. I love doing it. It's just that I'm trying another lane right now. I'm trying to, do a couple little other side ventures with the R&B and pop to see where the money goes with that. I haven't stopped doing rap and hip hop, as we could tell, like just Tetris' album. Yesterday I dropped a song, me, Beanie Siegel, Carlito Brigante. It's out right now. It's a brand new single. So I'm still putting out rap records. The rap has not stopped. It's just that I'm focusing a little bit more on the other side. Also remember,
Hold on. You just glossed over that.
yeah,
Beans is a legend, bro.
legend,
Beans,
legendary. He
man.
killed this track.
You do this
Shout out
together
Beans.
in the stew.
He
How
killed
was
this
it?
track. No, he
you
sent his
the
vocal.
vocals?
He sent his vocals in, and I recorded everything with Carlito on the spot in the studio. Hook, verse. We opened up the verse for Beanie. He sent his stuff in later. Got on the phone while we were in the studio. Said kind of how he wanted the mix, and now it's out.
That's cool.
And now what we were talking about when it comes to the producer stuff, I produced the beat, put the record together with Carlito, and I'm an artist on it. So it's Miami Beat Wave as an artist, not as a producer. You get what I'm saying? It's
Dope.
a collaboration. It's on all of our Spotify. It's on all of our Apple Music.
And it should be like that too, because it's like not everybody's trained. At least people, because I grew up knowing about music. My dad's made music my whole life.
Right.
And so like I've always like been kind of almost trained to look to see who made that beat, to go through the book before we had everything online. Like I'd go through the track list and the album booklets to see that information.
Right.
I could see now how other people might not ever even think about that.
Wasn't that
Who would
so
make the
cool?
beat.
Wasn't that so cool to look through the booklets?
Amazing.
Yeah,
I
and
used to
then you
love
see
it.
the artwork and stuff like that.
Sometimes you get lucky, you get the lyrics. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's cool.
Scam 2 did my artwork for Slight Modification. We had a little booklet like that. Shout out to Scam.
Yeah, shout out to Scam. I'm down to get him on here.
Yeah, and let me tell you what, he killed that, and I love that feeling because it reminded me of when I used to go pick out vinyl, and you look in the back and you see, yo, this guy played the bass, this guy played the keys. Okay, and I sampled that record. I like that, so now let me go find other records because that same bassist or same piano player could be playing on another artist's, on another band. You know what I'm saying? That you don't know because it's not the same artist, but they're using the same session musicians in the session. You get what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So I would look for samples like, oh, okay, is this guy? Let me go see if I can find this guy on another one and see what vibes he got on there and try to, take that and flip that and whatever the case may be. But not only the hip hop stuff, man, I got a single out with Red Cup Nation from LA. They do a lot of Drake's parties and just clubs out in LA and their college tours and all that stuff. It's called Bad Man. And it's like a Caribbean type of vibe. And then next month we're releasing the house mix. So that went number 11 on the dance charts. And I'm gonna continue rolling with just different vibes.
Do we have a name for the R&B album later this year?
Yeah, it's called I'll Never Not Love You.
I'll Never Not Love You.
And it's a lot about, there's some romantic stuff in there, and there's the R&B that we love in there, but there's a lot of conscious songs about mental health. So when I say I'll never not love you, I'm talking about never not loving myself again.
Powerful.
You get what I'm saying? So it's about this time in my life where people were leaving me, people didn't believe in me, so on and so forth. I got really depressed, and I had to talk to God. You know what I mean? It was just me, and it was like, yo, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna change this? Who needs to really be around you? Who doesn't? How can you change you? Man in the mirror type thing. You know what I'm saying? And at that time when I was depressed, all these people that I loved didn't love me, and I was kind of like, damn, I don't know if I love myself now. You get what I'm saying? And it took a time and a process to get back to who I was. And stop listening to other people and stop taking those experiences and looking at them as negative and start taking them as a learn. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning. Some days you win, some days you lose, and some days you learn. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's where I'm at with this album. It's I'll never not love myself again. You get what I'm saying? I'll always love myself first so that I can love everybody else. I was playing dominoes in Domino's Park one day. I was really young, and there's a strange story where, because I had my son at 19 years old, and old man told me, hey, who you love the most in this world? You know what I'm saying? I said, my son. He says, it's the wrong answer. You got to love yourself first, because if you're not around for yourself and take care of yourself, you can't take care of your son. And it blew my mind, dog. And I've had it there in my mind ever since. Mental health is very important. They don't shine enough light on it when it comes to men. You know what I'm saying? Because we got that ego and that pride and all that stuff. But it's just like, I guess I've been able to focus on it easier because when I go into the studio, I kind of put the ego and the pride to the side to make the best song. Because if I keep the ego and the pride in the studio, the song's not going to come out as good, dog.
It hinders it. It hinders everything. It hinders creativity. It hinders life. It hinders your relationships. It hinders growth. It hinders a conversation.
You got it.
It hinders, education and knowledge. It hinders being able to hear another side of the conversation. Like growing up in my life, like politics was never something people talked about. Like religion was never something people talked about. Yeah. Nowadays, everybody's on social media. Everybody feels like, oh, you have an echo chamber and it's your job to save the world. It's like, no. And that point aside, even when people talked about it, we were allowed to agree to disagree and continue on and still love each other and go catch a movie and still do our thing. Nowadays, it's always beef. It's always, negativity. And it's like, wow, we've really lost the ability to be able to disagree with one another.
Yeah,
it's
that
incredibly depressing.
To be able to disagree with somebody and still live. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like I disagree with my neighbor, but I'm gonna let him live. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make his life harder all day, every day, because then he can make my life harder. All right, you go your way, I'll go my way. I'm not going to block you. You don't block me, that's fine. You don't like what I'm doing, that's fine. But still, let me do my thing, you do your thing. We'll see who wins.
Yeah. So, I wanted to ask this. What's a pet peeve you have for artists that get in the studio with you?
Okay, so I'm a very I got stuff to do type of person. Like I got a family, I got other things. I'm working on my own projects, so on and so forth. So if I'm in the studio and we're gonna smoke blunts and drink for 6 hours before we even record one bar, I probably won't be there. I'll be out of there. I don't care who it is. I don't care how famous they are. No, none of that. That's my time is super precious to me. My time is everything. So when I go to work, I go to work. I work. That's what they know about me, that I work. No matter what. I've been working straight for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? On this music thing. So when I enter the studio, it's for work. It's not for play. If you guys want to play and go to the strip club after, or go to the club after, or hang out and go at the bar,
on
or
your
have
time,
a party,
not our
that's
time.
that's fine. Or you can invite me and I'll be there. But if I'm coming to work, I'm gonna work. LeBron James doesn't go onto the basketball court and just hang out. You get what I'm saying? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? It's just that mind state and that culture, and it's a lot of it going on. But eventually they're gonna see they got to put the work in. Everybody got to put the work in.
And that boils down to time.
Yeah.
You know, just valuing time. Not just your own time, but your time too.
And I appreciate you giving me your time for today, man. I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Come on, man. Please, bro. Yeah. And this is just my first round. You know, I just started the podcast, but
you're killing it.
You're a guest I'd love to have on frequently. Whenever you have projects, whenever you have a new artist you want to maybe.
Yeah, you got to get Ghost on here ASAP.
Yeah, whenever you guys want to come through, we'll schedule it and get you on frequently, man.
Sounds good to me.
You have so many gems, bro. So much game, and we're not done. We still have a good amount of time left.
Whoa, whatever you want.
I felt like we're wrapping things up right now.
Okay,
That's not
whatever you want to do. I'm here.
We're good. I have this segment I'm working on now on my show called Shoot Your Shot. It's not just for creators. It's also if for guys I want to get at girls I want to get at guys, and vice versa. People, girls, guys, all that. And also for us. Yeah, whatever, exactly.
We won't talk about that.
But we're artists, so we get to shoot our shot at people you want to make beats with, collab with, and people you want to make beats for as artists. Who are some artists you haven't had a chance to work with, or you'd like to maybe produce for?
What genre?
Any genre.
Oh. If I could do some pop stuff, funk stuff with Bruno Mars, I would love that. Cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's really cool.
If I'm doing ballad stuff or whatever, some Adele type of joint would be hard. And I say this, that's reaching for the stars type of stuff. But those are the type of records I feel like the residuals, I could buy a house. You know what I'm saying? Another house and another house and stuff like that.
But money aside, residuals aside, do you want to make that?
Yeah, I love Bruno. I love Adele. Both. Yeah,
of them. What's the name of the group Bruno had with the artist, with the rapper? With Anderson .Paak, they had a name for it.
Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic.
Bro, that album's so good.
Anderson .Paak is awesome too.
So
he signed to Aftermath, no?
Aftermath.
Yeah, he signed to Dre.
Yeah, such a good album though, man. They make such good music together.
So what they did was they got Bruno's sultry voice, and then they got Anderson .Paak's kind of funky James Brown, kind of raspy type of joint, and they put it together.
Full circle moment to how I mentioned it earlier. You don't want to be barsy all the time on the music.
Right.
That's a great example of it because it's poppy. It's a great musically, sonically sounding record.
Right.
And then Anderson .Paak comes here and there, sprinkles with the bars right when you need them.
Yes.
It's so well done.
And so the first instance of that I was like, wow, this is gonna change everything to where that came from, is Hey Ya from Outkast. So that record, Andre 3000 is doing the James Brown type of stuff on it. The beat makes you move. He's giving you a couple little rap lines in there with knowledge, but they got the catchy hook. He's got the call and response. Hey, now ladies.
And it's an instructional dance song.
Exactly.
I heard that recently, and I was like, oh my God, it blew my mind.
So he puts instructions. Yes. Yeah. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. No, shake it. So he's got the crowd response. He's got the TikTok dance in it. He's got the funk in it, and he's dropping rhymes, and the beat's hard. What was that?
Incredible.
That changed everything. That was a pop song done by one of our favorite lyricists.
It was everything. It was so much.
But you got to think, remember, he's a rapper. He had to think outside of the box. Oh, I'm going to say Andre 3000 is an artist.
No,
but
he's been transcending a rapper since the beginning.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Even with the bars. Yeah, so
storyteller, man.
And now with the flute.
Now with the flute. Going back to the flute.
Full circle moment.
Shout out the flute. Shout out the flute.
Have you ever sampled the flute album?
Have I ever sampled it?
You should.
I feel like so many people tried to already, right? I'm not really familiar. I mean, I heard the album real quick, but
I'll be honest. I gotta give it a listen because I told myself that when I listen to it, I'll challenge myself to try writing some bars to some of the records. I haven't done it yet though.
I felt like a million people were gonna try to do it, so then I didn't do it. But maybe that mindset was bad because maybe they didn't do it. I have no idea.
Who knows?
I haven't heard nobody did nothing with it.
All right, Yubi got a good idea. Andre 3000, we coming.
On that same note, though, what about some producers you'd like to collab with on a beat? On production.
I've always liked Scott Storch. I always liked Timberland. Pharrell's a fucking goat. You know what I'm saying? And I say this because they've done a lot of rap records, but they also transcended into pop, and they was doing it all. You get what I'm saying?
The mold, almost like the trajectory you're kind of going on with, starting in your basis and foundation with hip hop and rap, but now you're branching out into these other.
I kind of gravitate towards more funky producers. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to boom bap, like, you know, rest in peace, Jay Dilla. I have a big ass poster in my room. I've had it there forever. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to people like that, Black Milk, you know, Alchemist, all those people. When it comes to hip hop music, those are the type of producers I would like to link with. But when it comes to a larger scale, it would be the Timberland, Pharrell's, with that funky sound. You know, that catchy, edgy, but still got that bounce where they in the club moving. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're not in the club moving, then the women ain't coming. And if the women ain't coming, then the men ain't coming. And nobody's buying drinks and nobody's doing nothing. Right. And nobody's making no money. So you got to make some kind of move in music. Got to make a move. And remember, dancing is part of the like our human like
instinct.
It's inside of us.
It's our nature.
It's inside of us. And it's so crazy because in my life, maybe I've met like 2 or 3 people that were like, I don't like music. I don't listen to music. I don't dance.
That's
or whatever.
such a weird thing.
And I'm like, what?
That's
what
such a
what
weird
are you saying?
thing.
Is that how cool you are?
Right.
Like,
it's
really?
contrarian. They're just trying to be
really?
contrarian.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense. But that's a human thing. Music is a human thing. Art is a human thing. Dance is a human thing. You know what I'm saying? We just need to remember, like I said, AI is coming. It's here already. I've already done a couple records using it, you know, as a tool. Use it as a tool, just like we use auto-tune.
Just like social media, just like internet, just like podcasting,
Tools.
just like so many things in life. Drugs, you know, drugs are given to us, and a lot of us use it recreationally, and it's bad, and it kills us. Use it positively. Use it to, you know, reward yourself sporadically. Like, don't overdo anything in life.
Right.
Learn to use these things in life as tools. And a tool I have on my podcast is the Big 3 game show. It's a little segment we have to end every episode pretty much.
Okay.
And I already have...
Big 3.
Yeah, we're going to do a
Sounds
draft.
interesting.
And we're going to draft music genres. So,
Whoa.
yeah,
Okay.
we're going to pick the big 3 music genres. We're going to go one by one. Whatever genre you pick, I can't pick.
Okay.
Guest always goes first.
Soul.
That's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take hip-hop off the board.
Why? That's 2 separate genres.
Well,
Hip-hop just sampled soul.
Soul could be one thing.
Yeah.
The way the game works, though, is that you're going to have your 3, I'm going to have my 3.
Yeah, but you can't say soul no more, right?
I can't say soul no more.
Okay, I got it.
Right.
But you could still say hip-hop.
Right, because
That's a
hip-hop's its
separate
own
genre.
thing. Right, it's a
Yeah,
separate
yeah.
genre. Right. So that's why, so your number 1 pick soul.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have,
Go ahead.
you know, hip-hop as 1. So what's your number 2 pick?
Funk.
Ah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Funk. I like that dance shit. I remember back in the day, I used to love all the funk records. All they would talk about was food. Mashed potatoes and mashed potatoes, broccoli. Like, oh shit! This song made me want to dance, but made me hungry at the same time. Shit.
Okay, then my second pick, I'm gonna say R&B.
Oof, you're killing me there, huh?
Yeah.
I should have said that one second. Now that you took it from me.
Yeah, you surprised me with your first 2 picks.
Yeah,
But, and we
okay.
already got 3. So how you gonna?
Okay.
Who's making the team?
There's different. Okay. Blues and rock and roll. I don't know if you want to separate them.
You have to. Blues is blues. Rock and roll is rock and roll.
One derives from one another. That's
but then
the
you could
problem.
argue hip hop derives from soul.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted to clarify. We're gonna specify this wrong.
He's got a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with rock and roll, specifically
Nice.
old school rock and roll.
That's so dope.
Like I always said, like when I hear like old school rock and roll, like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and stuff like that, like it kind of has a piece of my heart, and hip hop has a piece of my mind.
Wow.
Like hip hop controls my mind. It's the way I want to think.
The logical side.
The logical side. The wording, what they're saying. Hip hop is talking about what's going on in the world always. You know what I'm saying?
Current events.
maybe not the
events.
hip hop now. It's a little strange. We don't really talk about what's going on in the world, which to me is like our way of expressing. Like the reason why we do
Official
music.
Heir.
The reason why we do art and music is actually a little bit of history, so that when people go listen to the songs, your kids in 20, 30 years from now, they'll say what was going on in 2020.
We're reporting on time. Great point.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's kind of like a little history, but some people don't want to do that. They just want to do dances, which is fine too. But when it comes to a point where it's so saturated that we're not talking about what's going on in our real life at all,
What are we saying?
I don't know what we're saying, to be honest. We just want entertainment because the world is so in difficult times right now that we see it all day long. Like you said on the news, when we go out, all this stuff's messed up. So we just want entertainment, bro. Numb us. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, preach,
Yeah.
preach.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, I appreciate it.
No, yeah, that's great. That's
So I'm gonna go with rock and roll.
Yeah, that's good. And then my third pick, I'm gonna say reggaeton.
You can tell this man gets ladies. He said
I wish.
reggaeton. I gotta put that in there. And it's so funny. This is what I know about reggaeton, especially people in like males in general. They're like, I don't really listen to reggaeton. You know what I'm saying? I don't really listen to reggaeton. But guess what? You get them in the club, and the girl shaking
You
on
have
them,
to. You
and the
listen
girl
to
shaking
it.
on them. They come home the next day. They're like, yo, that reggaeton song, my favorite
Yeah,
song. Dog.
you have to.
Yeah, we gotta play that one again.
Yeah, and that was more like an unselfish pick because the first two R&B and hip hop, extremely selfish. About to be 30 in November, and majority of my life I've spent listening to not just those two genres,
You
but
don't
a
look
lot of that.
You don't look no 30.
Thank you. I hope in a good way.
Yeah, you look like 25.
I
dog.
just turned 19. I'm kidding.
Ah.
So
Whoa, I can't be here. Just kidding.
Yo, yeah, I think reggaeton is just really important to like the people around me in my life and just growing up, and it's just, believe it or not, like when I was
we're in
thinking,
Miami.
Yeah, that's what it is too. The location bias.
Yeah,
too.
but you know what's funny? You'll go to our Miami parties, like if it's your aunt's party or your friend's party or whatever, it's gonna be salsa.
right?
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? It's gonna be
what it came
salsa,
close to.
merengue, bachata, all that stuff. The reggaeton comes on when the demographic gets younger.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's crazy because we played out, like I feel like there's two genres in America we played out really fast, trap and reggaeton, that still goes on in South American countries as brand new. They bumping it like it's the newest thing.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And we're like already like, we don't want to hear this no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It depends on where you travel, where you go to.
You've had a lot of successes, and I just think of a producer out there who hasn't reached the successes you have. What's one piece of advice? And you've given earlier a good few, but what's one lasting piece of advice you could give to a producer that's maybe been in the game already, maybe been chasing their dreams and hasn't reached the success, hasn't smelled the success? It's questioning what they're doing, why they're doing it.
Yeah.
What's one thing you could tell that person out there listening?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people are gonna say, "Don't give up, don't give up." Yes, that is true. Don't give up. But real advice is, if you want to get placements with your music as a producer, you need to be in the studio with the artist. You need to have them marry your track together, like make the beat with them, go through the beats with them, like see their vibe, how they're feeling. Yo, you feel sad today? You feel happy today? All right, I got this certain pack. Oh, you want to do this? Da, da, da. Instead of just sending an email, you know what I'm saying? It's more like you got to be more on the
Personal.
producer side and in the studio with the artist. That's how you're going to get the most placements instead of the beat maker that sends the beats. Of course, that works too, depending on where you're sending it to and how much they love the beat and so on and so forth. But that's definitely one big thing. Another thing is just own your craft. Don't ever stop working on it because technology keeps changing. So if I keep on the same machines that I was on back in the day, I wouldn't be even able to use AI. But now the kids are going to be able to use the AI and making music. And then when somebody comes in as a client to my studio and was like, yo, can you do some AI stuff for me, B? I got to know how to do it. You get what I'm saying? So don't ever stay stuck in learning. Keep learning the technology. Keep seeing what the youth is doing as well. How they're just like when FL first came out, Fruity Loops.
Yeah.
I'm an avid Pro Tools Logic guy and whatever. You know what I'm saying? And Live is pretty cool. I like Ableton, but FL was like, oh, the kitty program or whatever.
Right,
and now almost all the beats you're hearing on the radio are
made
made
on
in FL.
there. That's
you get what I'm
crazy.
saying? So you got to pay attention to what the youth is doing and how they're coming up and stuff like that. But I say just keep pushing. Also, the last thing would be, not everybody's going to like your music. Not everybody's gonna like your beats, and you know, at the end of the day, you can't discourage yourself because these 5 people might not like it, but you go to this other country and these thousands of people like it. But you got discouraged because these 5 people didn't like it. You get what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna like your stuff. So as long as you understand that, you might not even like your stuff sometimes. You might make a beat, which has happened to me before, and I'd be like, man, I mean, the beat's cool, but it's not my best. I got this, and that's the one that gets picked by the artist. That's the one they want to buy.
As artists, we don't make art for us to decipher, and you know, it's almost like beauty in the eye of the beholder. It's for the audience to, you know, digest.
Exactly. And I got one more key tip, which is if you want to be a producer, don't try to control the artist that much. Let the artist be the artist. Some producers tell the artist exactly what to do, and then you take away who they are. You get what I'm saying? You want still to work with an artist and then put themselves in the song. You feel me? It can't just be a producer song.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? Because the artist is going to be the one that goes and performs it every night. And if they don't like the song because they don't relate to it, they're going to perform it poorly.
They have no ownership of it.
They're going to perform
artist,
it poorly.
that's how you like to feel as an artist. Ownership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't feel that way because the producer wrote it and it wasn't about his life. They just thought it was hot. So make sure that you work with your artists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're there to I don't want to say the word cater, but you're there to work equally with them. You feel me?
I love that. And one last closing message for the audience. We give my guests the chance to do that.
One last.
Whatever you want to say. Anything else?
Anything I want to say?
Anything else?
Shout out to y'all, man. Thank you for having me here. I got I'll Never Not Love You album coming out this year. At the end of the year, I'm dropping singles every month for it. It's a completely R&B album. I got the Badman remix coming out. That Beanie Siegel joint is out right now. And we're gonna keep it rolling. I'm gonna put out pretty much a single to 2 a month for the rest of the year. So I'm hype. I'm excited. I haven't been this excited about releasing music in a long time because I work a lot producing behind the scenes for everybody, and now this is more of my records coming out.
Your turn
so
now.
I'm excited. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for having me on, bro.
Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for coming, bro. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Till I broke about my shell, then and when and broke that spell.